Hey Ecofictologists, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lovis and we are coming to the end of March, which means we are coming to the beginning of April. And anyone who has done NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, in November, they know that April is very special because it is one of the Camp Nano months. So Camp Nano is very similar to NaNoWriMo in November, except that you can set your own goal. So NaNoWriMo, the official goal is to write 50,000 words of a novel. And in Camp Nano, you can kind of choose whatever project you're working on, whatever stage of the writing process you're in. You can do outlining, you can do editing, you can do writing if you want, you could do rewriting, you can do all kinds of things. So whichever stage you're at, Camp Nano is kind of a more flexible version of NaNoWriMo. You can choose your own type of goal, so you can choose a word count goal like you do in NaNoWriMo, or you can do a page goal, a time goal. Maybe you just want to write for a half hour every day. That's amazing. Unfortunately, the Camp Nano website only allows word count goals at the moment, which is really annoying because the other formats are so much more flexible, I find. But that's how it is. Apparently they have some guidelines about how you can translate, you know, one page of writing, they say on average is about 250 words. So you can translate it that way. But yeah, on your own, in your own way of tracking, you can set different types of goals. So Camp Nano is supposed to be more flexible. You're supposed to be able to set a goal that is manageable for you and, you know, what's happening in your life at the moment. A lot of the time it's for people to finish that novel that they didn't finish in November, and that is the case for me. I am on the Camp NaNoFinMo track, the National Novel Finishing Month. They love their punny acronyms, which is the track that NaNoWriMo is championing this April for all of those people who have that unfinished draft kind of staring at them and they just want to get it finished. And that is me 100%. I need to get this flippin' draft finished. I've been working on it for so long. I just want to get it done. It's the one that I worked on in November, and unfortunately, to be completely honest, I haven't made a lot of progress since then. Many of you who follow me on Instagram will know that I did National Novel Writing Month, and I won National Novel Writing Month, so I did my 50,000 words. I did cheat a little bit because I didn't start a completely new project. I was doing kind of the first draft of my eco-fantasy novel, the first in my Pulse trilogy that I've talked about before. And so I had a little bit written, but I wrote my 50,000 words, and I still didn't finish it. So I looked the other day and I actually have about 80,000 words written, which surprised me. I did not think I had that much done. It's a pleasant surprise, but it also means that like there's still some of it to be written. So this is gonna be a long novel. She gonna be thick. But the fact remains that the book is unfinished. NaNoWriMo completely exhausted me. I was not able to maintain that kind of momentum. I'm not someone who usually writes every day. I'm happy if I write once a week, to be honest. And so writing 1,600 something words a day was exhausting for me. So even though NaNoWriMo was fun and I'm so proud of what I achieved and I love the community that I found while I was doing it, when NaNoWriMo was over on the last day of November, I was like, thank God, I'm so tired. I was so tired. So I took December like completely off with every intention of jumping back into it in January, and then in February, and then in March. So I was kind of hoping to set a more manageable goal for Camp Nano so I didn't completely like burn out. But looking at my outlines, I still have like 9 chapters to write. There are a couple chapters that are like dotted through that I just wasn't in the right headspace to write, or I knew that a certain perspective character needed a chapter, but I didn't know what was going to happen in it. So there are like 2, maybe 3 dotted around in the draft, and then there's the last 6 chapters or so. At the very end, where it's the big climax and resolution and a lot has to happen So they're big, important chapters, and they are still kind of waiting to be written. On average, my chapters are about 4,000 words long. Some are shorter, some are longer, depending what I'm doing, what I'm writing about. But on average, I have about 4,000 words. So 9 chapters times 4,000 words is about 36,000 words, which would put my novel in like the 120,000 word mark, which is way too long. So I'm really confused how this has happened. I'm gonna have to do some serious editing. That's later. That's another project entirely. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. I just don't think I'm gonna need another 36,000 words. I really hope not. So I'm gonna bring it down to 25,000. That seems kind of manageable. That's less than 1,000 words a day in April, and I think I can do that. So I'm really, really hoping that that's enough, because even that will put me over the 100,000 word mark, which for a debut fantasy book is quite long. But my real goal is still to finish this draft. So looking at my outline and my scene list, because yes, I have plotted out every scene, I have 9 chapters, and in those 9 chapters I have 15 scenes, which is kind of perfect actually, because then I can do 1 scene every 2 days. So that is, you know, for the Camp Nano website, I have to put it into a word count goal. That is my 25,000. But for myself, my real goal is to do this 1 scene every 2 days. I'm gonna try and find a creative way of showing you my progress throughout April. I'm gonna have to get my fellow author tubers to give me some tips here. I need some inspiration from you more creative types on this, but I will try and find a way to take you along this journey with me. So what have I done up until now? Where am I at in this novel? Looking at kind of general beats, I'm in like the darkest moment beat, where she's just hit rock bottom, kind of loses hope. So this is the rallying call now that needs to happen. Because I have 2 point of view characters and their arcs are kind of like staggered, this is referring to the character that kind of starts her arc later. So we've had her inciting incident, we've had her kind of reluctance to accept her fate, I suppose. We've had her turning point, we've had a couple wins, we've had a couple losses, and this is her major loss, this is her major setback that I kind of now need to turn into motivation, right? So that's where we're at. We're kind of in the lowest of the low points, and this is the rallying cry, it's the big climax and the big finale. No pressure, April, but you gotta bring this baby home. It's gotta get done. So, funny story, I was telling my dad about Camp Nano, and he was like, oh, so you're using your PhD thesis for this Camp Nano project to get it written in April? And I was like, no. And my partner was also like, great, another nano month where in April where you have so much free time. I was like, ah. So for those of you who don't know, I am in the last couple months of my PhD. I have a thesis to write. I have a lot of the thesis to write, so the next month is also quite stressful for me in terms of my work and my academic writing. And I was in complete denial that I could just ignore this tiny, insignificant detail of my PhD thesis and could focus on writing my novel, which I'm super excited about. I'm making a bit of a compromise because it would actually be really useful to use the momentum of Camp Nano to help me get through my thesis. So I have 2 Camp Nano goals. One of them is the one that I've already outlined, is to do my novel, and that's what I'll be doing in the evenings and on the weekends, which is when I would have been working on it anyway. And the other I'm going to be working on during my workday, which is my thesis. So I'm going to be writing like 24/7 in the month of April. My thesis has 3 core chapters and a general introduction and a general discussion. I've already written 1 chapter completely, and the 2nd chapter is very nearly finished in its draft form. I have a little bit of the introduction written already. So all in all, I have about 12,000 words written. So I'm thinking that I probably have at least another 20,000 words to write because the general discussion is quite long. So 2 goals, 1 academic writing, 1 creative writing, bending the rules of Camp Nano a little bit, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So my overall goal is to write 45 maths, high PhD student. 45,000 words in the month of April, 20,000 on my thesis, 25,000 on my novel. Let's go, team. I can do this. So how am I going to motivate myself this Camp Nano? My biggest piece of advice to anyone wanting to survive any kind of NaNoWriMo event is to find some community. Find a group or even just one other person who's going through this process with you, who can just check in with you every day and say, what's your word count? How have you gotten on today? How are you doing? Do you want to do some word sprints? Just so you feel a bit of accountability for this goal that you have set yourself because it's something that you want to achieve. Having some community to help motivate you through it is super, super helpful. This is the only reason that I won NaNoWriMo. The only reason. Also, just figure out a way of writing that works for you. Everyone talks about a writing routine, you know, write every day or set a time every day to write, like put it in your schedule. That's wonderful if you're able to do that. I know a lot of people are simply not able to write every day, and that is fine. Find a routine that works for you. Yes, you know, do everything you can to make time for that writing. And I'm talking to myself here because I definitely struggle with setting a writing routine. You know, the community also helps a lot in this case. I have been lucky enough to find lots of community in the nano environment. I have a couple of nano buddies, and you're actually going to meet 2 of them on April 1st because we are doing a live stream, a Camp Nano kickoff live stream. So you're going to meet Caitlin Ergo and Leah Rummel. I'm going to be linking their channels, that's the word that we use here on YouTube. Their channels are in the description below. The live stream is scheduled on Caitlin's channel, so if you want notifications and reminders and to set a reminder for that live stream, go and subscribe to her channel. And we're just going to be talking about our project and our plans of how to meet it, and we're going to be doing some kickoff sprints on the 1st just to get the ball rolling, get things going, and they're just really nice and lovely, and we're gonna have a good time. So join us at, oh god, times, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So for all my UK friends, that's 7 p.m. That'll be 7 p.m. for me. So I will be there with a glass of wine while Caitlin and Leah probably will be drinking tea because it's, you know, daytime on a Thursday. The last thing is that I have an outline already that I will be following. This is the same outline that I used for NaNoWriMo in November. I still really like that outline, so I will be following it. I have my chapters, I have my scenes, I have my progress bar. I am a plotter 120%. Obviously, I know that not everybody prefers outlining and plotting, so you can absolutely fly by the seat of your pants, or you do a little, you know, combination of both, whatever works for you. For me, an outline is absolutely essential, so I am following an outline. And hopefully as I kind of tick off the chapters and I get close to the end, I'll get really excited because I'm so close, and then that'll motivate me to just keep going and finish this darn thing. So that is my Camp Nano project, or rather those are my Camp Nano projects, because I am insane and I have set myself 2 goals. I'm gonna live to regret that. Hopefully not. I would absolutely love to know if any of you are participating in Camp Nano, what your projects are, how you think you're going to motivate yourself to get through it. If you want to be Camp Nano buddies with me, you can find me on the NaNoWriMo website. I'm just under Lovis Geier. and you can add me and I will add you back, and we will find a way to get each other through this madness. And I hope to see some of you during the live stream on Caitlin Ergo's channel. We're gonna have a good time, and let's get the ball rolling on this Camp Nano April. And I wish you all the best in reaching your own goals. And I think that's all from me. So I will see you next week, Ecofictologists.